Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Liquid Jinro and JiFengLegacy here on Shattered Temple. Oops, let's keep that up there for now. We have Liquid Jinro spawning as the blue Terran player. Meanwhile, we have JiFengLegacy spawning as the red Zerg. You guys can read the conversation. I'm not going to keep track of it as this is the second time I'm casting it. Trying to read the conversation actually stumbled me up just a little bit. So I'm going to just focus on this game. This is game one, but not part of any particular series. I just happen to have a lot of games between these two players, and that generally happens on Battle.net. Once you get into the high-level Masters or a Grandmaster stage, whenever you start searching for a game, you end up playing a guy, and then you search again, and then you end up playing the same guy again just because he's the only guy out there that's evenly ranked and and has the same MMR as you. So that is one of the reasons why you may get a series of games like this from Battle.net against the same players. Anyways, JiFengLegacy opening up with a 13/18. This is pretty standard so far. The next key point will be whether or not he goes for an extractor first, a hatchery first, or a spawning pool first. Meanwhile, back over here, Jinro is opening up with a low ground barracks. And I don't see a gas yet, so he may be trying to go for a dual racks, or he may be simply going for a fast command center. Both options are viable based upon the timing of this SCV, though I would venture to guess that it is going to be a scouting SCV. And yeah, there it is. I thought he was actually going to try to build a barracks, so a little bit foolish on me. He isn't building a barracks. He is in fact going to start scouting, as there is now a hatchery down over here. An SCV now going to try to make its way down. A drone trying to get some damage, and now another SCV coming in as well. The drone, getting a little bit stuck right there, actually taking a little bit more damage than it needed to. But he should be able to run away very, very easily. So this may be a one racks expansion here, which would be a non-standard move. I haven't seen a one racks expansion in quite some time, but it is a pretty safe bet, especially against a Zerg player who also went for a fast hatchery. The Marines will be coming out now. The hatchery or the command center will be coming into play in just a moment. There you go. There is that command center which I was talking about. And now there is a Marine sitting over here trying to keep track of that drone. It looks like the drone doesn't want to try to run by, and the Marine just going to keep track of this position here, and now also getting a supply depot down here as well. This is a pretty risky maneuver. The fact that Jinro is already building his command center in the proper position. Normally Terran players really like to just lift off their buildings and being able to build it safely within the confines of this blockade. We are going to be getting Zerglings out in just a moment, as well as JiFengLegacy already sitting on a decent number of drones, 16 drones compared to 17 SCVs, and as he continues to, I believe, power drone, yeah, he will be able to surpass Jinro in just a moment. You can take a look inside Jinro's base now. He is going into that double refinery. So that double refinery obviously giving him more gas, but because he doesn't have that many production units, he is going to find himself a little bit hard pressed to deal any serious damage. He can only really defend with these Marines and that one SCV, and also trying to catch up in the economic game is going to be difficult as well. He's going to have to do something rather tricky in order to get enough damage and try to take this game. He cannot win off of economy alone right now, as the queens are now coming in as well. Production wise though, spine crawlers are coming out as well. Zerglings just testing that front door over here. One spine crawler, one queen here, no queen over here, so this is a bit of a surprise. Not having an additional queen means that JiFengLegacy is not going to be able to harvest or not be able to get as many drones as I would like to see him do. Zerglings are hanging around over here. There is now some more and more units being placed down, and additionally another supply depot being built, making it even more difficult to get within melee range on this one bunker. The barracks now coming down, building a tech lab, and the Zerglings unable to really push their way forward. Is the Zergling might actually be able to come in here and actually get damage onto this one particular tech lab while being out of range. Yeah, and it is, oh no, the Marines on the far side are going to now make their way over, and the Marines just going to sit up here now and just watch those Zerglings and able to shoo them away, and those Zerglings are going to decide to back off. We are sitting on a decent number of minerals, as we are now going into Blue Flame Hellions. Economy-wise, 37 drones versus 28 SCVs. Jinro now going into double Hellions with that blue flame research. He should be able to get about six Hellions out right as that blue flame is finished completing researching, and then get a lot of damage. There is one spine crawler, one queen, and now also laying down a creep tumor. Is there a second queen over here? Yes, another queen now finally coming into play, as we are now seeing a large amount of power droning. That is an issue, and JiFengLegacy has yet to really see what is going inside behind this wall here. He has no idea what to expect. He may be trying to build spore crawlers. That's why we also have that evolution chamber in play, and without a Roach Warren, JiFengLegacy is actually going to just play straight into his hands. And now Zerglings desperately need to run away. We need to get some more Spine Crawlers. This is going to be a problem. There's that Roach Warren now. So a Roach Warren coming into position there, going to make it a little bit more difficult for those Hellions to try to make their way around. And the key question is it going to be enough? One queen, one spine crawler, a couple Zerglings, a lot of Zerglings in production now, as those Zerglings now trying to squeeze, or the Hellions trying to squeeze their way through, getting some damage there, getting some damage onto those Zerglings, and now this is going to be a bit of an issue as the queen now coming over, trying to slash away, already taking a lot of damage, and now that creep tumor is also taking some damage as well. So the queen now trying to fight back, a second queen now coming over, down goes that one creep tumor, and JiFengLegacy is in trouble. This queen needs to back off down to 40 hit points, needs to pull away, as the Zerglings now going to try to come in and swarm, but able to already get some damage there as the Zerglings trapping many of those Hellions and getting a lot of damage, finishing off a lot of those Hellions there. The Hellions now trying to run away, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to escape all that easily. The Zerglings able to continue to peck just a little bit, and now the Marines on that high ground are going to be able to offer support. Taking a look at the losses, 400 by both sides, as this Roach Warren is now off of creep and will slowly start to bleed unless a creep tumor has been placed down. 5 roaches are also being trained as well. This Roach Warren is still technically somehow on creep, even though the majority of it is not, so it is not taking any damage so far. No glial reconstitution yet, as we are now going into siege tanks. 53 drones compared to 44 SCVs. Income-wise, it is about even. The Zerg player just getting about 100 gas more, but there is a little bit more minerals coming in from the Jinro about Legacy. You can see the roaches now trying to make their way over, and siege tanks up on the high ground trying to put pressure there. The roaches now backing off, knowing that the siege tanks are going to slowly get siege tech and be able to blast through that front door. We are also getting Mutalisk as well, and the Zerg is going to be able to transition into Mutalisk very, very easily. You can see him sitting on 700 gas. Yeah, about another 40 seconds to go, so he should be able to get about 10 Mutalisks out by the time that this Spire is up, assuming he has enough food, food cap, and enough minerals. It looks like that isn't going to be an issue as the Hellions continue to wander around the map. The Roaches looking like they wanted to try to engage, and the Zerg is now going to come down over here, get some damage onto those Hellions, and finish them off relatively easily. Down goes those Hellions as another hatchery being placed down by JiFengLegacy, the Zerg player here. We are getting some creep tumors down. The Roach Warren now finally getting that glial reconstitution, meaning that there is, a drop now happening here. Thank goodness I have headsets so I can hear this coming in as those Marines now making their way over. Drones now already falling down as the Marines are trying to get some damage, and now the Zerglings coming over to try to offer some additional support. The Queen unable to shoot that down there, and now the Queen's getting some damage onto that medevac. The Queen needs to back off, perhaps get back on creep, and then be able to just spawn more larvae and just keep track of those bases. Mutalisk, though, 7 Mutalisks in the air, could easily be able to hunt down some more units, as there are now siege tanks here, a lot of siege tanks that are just ripe for the taking for those Mutalisks. Those Mutalisks just simply may come in. Yeah, there you go, getting some easy damage. Oh, one Mutalisk already down, another Mutalisk down. Not a good trade at all. As those Marines were able to come over, the Marines were upgraded 1-0, allowing for additional damage, and wow, that medevac escaping just in time as the Mutalisks are looking for that medevac there. We are getting some drones now transferring over here at the 3 o'clock expansion, so it is going to be 3 base play versus 2. JiFengLegacy knowing that he has to expand in a certain direction as the Marines are able to fight back and destroy more Mutalisks. That's been some really shoddy play by JiFengLegacy. He cannot afford to just lose his units like that. And you can see the resource loss difference as the production is starting to ramp up. Thors now being added as well. Roaches and Banelings hiding off over here. No real creep highway, as the Mutalisks are just being added slowly but surely. Destructible rocks now getting pecked apart. It doesn't look like much is going to be happening there, as the Zerg, one Marine now running down over here, gunning to find a sea of Zerglings, and down it goes, unable to scout out this expansion here. There is another command center that will be lifted off. The Overlord sees that command center currently being built, as the Marines are now making their way over and going to try to clean up this creep highway. The Marines are now backing off. The Mutalisks have to be very, very careful, as they just got a little bit too close. The Marines able to shoot down those Mutalisks with little to no real issue, as Banelings and Roaches hide off in the side over here to try to perhaps do a little bit of a flank. The Mutalisks now coming in, perhaps going to get some damage onto this location here. The Marines and now Thor's coming in. Mutalisks need to back off, and down goes another group of units. Siege tanks are slowly going to start sieging up this location here, being very careful to not overexpose themselves right here. The Marines, or the Zergings and the Banelings now just flanking off over here onto the side, as a lot more Banelings are still in production. The siege tanks able to start blasting away as well. And what is JiFengLegacy doing with those units? Not 100% sure yet, as many of those Banelings are now just trying to run away. Marines coming in, and Overlords just getting cleaned up and ripe for the picking, but this is going to be very, very bad, as the siege tanks now unsieging. The Zerglings may be able to outflank many of these units here, as this army tries to push forward slowly but surely. The Roaches and the Zerglings and Banelings now going to be pushing in from both sides here. Zerglings now coming in, and now pressing in on the front as well. Banelings coming around multiple locations, cleaning up many Marines, but there are too many Thors and too many units. Those Roaches unable to get that much damage in, as those Banelings may be able to get some damage. No serious damage at all, but JiFengLegacy trying to lay a trap, and it did not work at all. Jinro, with a much larger army at 164 compared to 130, is in a much safer position. There is a much larger army supply, but not quite as large of a worker supply, but it doesn't matter, as the Marines are now going to be able to finish off this expansion here. And now the main Bile Ball coming in over here. Banelings trying to splash and deal more damage once again. It looks like that damage is going to just continue to press forward. Siege tanks able to shell it out, and now there's the customary, hey, it's SC2.com, and I believe JiFengLegacy will be coming in with the GG, and there you go. So JiFengLegacy was trying to outflank Jinro, but that trap ultimately failed and was unsuccessful. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between Jinro and JiFengLegacy. I am going to be getting a new microphone tomorrow, and hopefully after the initial setup period, and I will sound a little bit not quite as bright and high strung. Anyways, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay.